Little people, big problems, dwarves in faction wars. Finally, he sleeps here with another video in the Faction Wars series. If you're driving for Lydia the Death Siren, you'll need to 3-star every level in every faction. Dwarves can be tough without the right combination of champions, specifically in the final stage, level 21, against the dreaded red boss. First though, make sure you subscribe here at YouTube, turn on notifications so you never miss when a video goes live. It's simple, it's free, but it does make a big difference here at the channel. The main thing for most people in the Dwarves faction is support. Healing and reviving are rare here. In fact, I have no revivers in this squad, but do have healing on both Aver the Alchemage's A3 and Demitha. Demitha is the shit. She's an epic support champ that makes a massive difference in this faction. Although she's not required, she does make this stage much easier. For reviving, there are only two dwarves that have that ability to revive members of your team to work toward 3 stars. Melga Steelgirdle and Molly Tankard, neither of which I used on my way through for 3 stars on all levels. Now, like all Faction Wars teams, you'll need to focus on their roles. For damage dealing, I'm bringing Geomancer and Herndig. Geo's passive allows him to reflect damage onto anyone his HP burn is already stuck to. Now, that's huge, especially once you reach the boss. Herndig is just a heavy hitter, which helps in the waves as well as once you get to the boss. Now, you can substitute any damage dealer in here as long as they have high resist and accuracy for any of the debuffs they're landing. Now, for most Faction War stages, a cleanser or block debuffs makes a big difference. This stage is no different. There are ways around it, though, if you don't have anybody to do that. Heavy resist and turn meter control can help mitigate any debuffs your opponents are putting down on you. Now, this team is very slow on the waves because it's support heavy and damage light. We're over a minute and we're still stuck here on the first wave. It's almost done. Like, just kill him already. Come on. You can see all the continuous heals, shields, and block damage being laid down by Demitha. Those buffs are helping everyone stay in this, all coming from one champion. Now, if you do not have Demitha, sucks for you, but there are other options out there. Dolor Lorekeeper is a rare dwarf that brings block debuffs and continuous heal. Runic Warder is another rare that brings reflect damage and continuous heal. And Runekeeper Dazdirk is an epic that cleanses heals and also brings continuous heals. But on top of it, his name is Runekeeper Dazdirk, which is just fun to say. He sounds like the lead singer in an 80s hair metal band. Like all Faction Wars stages, you can gear your team specifically to make up for shortcomings. Lifesteal or an equivalent will help keep champions in the fight. High defense and high resist are also important. Just remember, you are bringing 5 champions to each battle, so you've got to gear them properly. Make sure your damage dealers have at least 100% crit rate and as high crit damage as you can get. Put them in lifesteal. That's going to help keep them alive. For your support champs, you're going to need them in maybe bolster or a shield set, which is just going to further help support the rest of your team. Your crowd control. Now, what crowd control is, it's anybody that's laying down debuffs on the rest of the enemies, like on the waves, and it's an AoE with like stun, sleep, weaken, decrease defense, decrease speed, that kind of stuff. Everyone else, you might consider regen, immortal, definitely accuracy and perception and speed as far as kits goes. This stuff, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. You just have to start somewhere. Once you get here to the red boss, there are some interesting issues to be resolved. Her A1 targets enemy max HP. We'll come back and talk about that in a second. The red boss has a self-cleanse and an AoE that puts stun on everyone except their target. who gets a True Fear instead. It then grants her an extra turn with her A1. Her passive is a turn meter bump. For every 1% of HP she loses when attacked, her turn meter goes up 2%. That means decreased speed and decreased turn meter champs will help slow her down. High HP and high defense are most obvious things that you have to bring to this. Resistance will not help here for this stage, level 21, because her A2 stun and True Fear cannot be resisted. Now, without Demytha, you can either load up resist so the boss's debuffs other than her A2 won't stick, or you can still try a special technique called the low HP shield technique. This technique is specific to the red boss only because the red boss's A1 hits based on enemy max HP. That means if you can bring along a very slow and very weak champ that you can keep alive into the final round and then protect with ally shields based on the ally's HP and not the weak champion's HP, the shield will keep them both as the boss's A1 target and alive while everyone else hammers away at them. I have a full video devoted to the low HP shield technique, so if you're interested in how and why it works, you can check that one out. The link is in the description. That's the title there up in the corner. It is what it is. I did not use it. I didn't need it for this because of Demytha. Dwarves is all about how you build your champs. HP and defense need to be your highest priorities, especially if you're without Demytha. If you have other factions you're struggling with, check out the whole Faction Wars series here on the channel. All of the links for the full series are below in the video description. If this information helped you out along your way on your run towards Lydia, please consider subscribing here on YouTube. It's a small gesture that goes a long way toward the growth of the channel. I'm Finally Sleeps. Thanks for hanging out. And as always, as long as you keep watching, I'll keep making videos.